Hello, this is Alan Brooks, and today we're going to be looking at the Mandela effect in the Mediterranean Sea. And I want to show you some amazing before and after photos. We have real residual evidence. The first thing we're going to be looking at is the whole Mediterranean Sea and how its relationship between Spain and the Rock of Gibraltar and the northern part of Africa. It's become, in our reality today, in our world geography today, where there's a very short distance between the Rock of Gibraltar and the continent of Africa. And a lot of people remember it differently, just like a lot of people remember, Sicily being much further away from Italy. Now they're practically touching. You can almost throw a rock between Sicily and Italy now. But, people remember that differently as well, so they become much closer together. So, here I'm going to show you some old world maps. Here's a couple of grayscale maps. You've been looking at a few different examples of the Mandela effect in the Mediterranean. You can see there's a much larger body between Africa and Spain. And, I did a search and I managed to find a globe. And look at this blue globe. It has a much further distance. And, there's interesting Mandela effect residual evidence in cartoons sometimes. Here's an amazing Superman cartoon that has several Mandela effects in it. It has a North and South America being in the relationship that I remember in my reality. South America was underneath North America. Now South America is 1,200 miles to the east. It's Southeast America. So, it's pretty crazy, huh? But let's look at, on this Superman cartoon, they have the way I remember it. They have the Mediterranean Sea being much further apart between Africa and Spain. And you're going to see this in several slides here. We're going to show you several old Earth residuals where this is the case. And I didn't know if any of you remembered. Tell me what you remember. Tell me what you think. I don't remember that the Mediterranean Sea being pinched off like this. I don't remember Sicily. Here's a couple examples of Sicily being the way I remember it. It's much further away from Italy. And the boot of Italy, to a lot of us remember where right now it's got high heels. But a lot of us remember where it was much shorter. So, there's been stylists working on our geography Mandela effect somehow. I don't know how they're doing all this. They're moving around continents. Some say, they changed depends to depend, which is maybe because we're in continents on the continent. I don't know. It's just a joke there. But, here's a few more examples of how the Mediterranean Sea has been changed. As far as the relationship between Africa and Spain. Now, it's pretty crazy, but, why would there be globes that show such a large distance? And my memory is that of being that way, and I'm sure a lot of people's memories are too. Let me know what your memory is, because it's just crazy how things are being moved around. And again, you have to ask yourself, why would there be any maps that showing such a large relationship if it never existed? If it was always this pinched off, why would there be these maps we're seeing in some cartoons? like this one and another, where there's this huge body of water between Africa and Europe. And there's a huge body of water between Sicily and Italy. So, that's like a lot of things in the Mandela effect. It just doesn't make any sense if it's all just our memories are false. If our memories were false, that's one thing. But if there's, actual residual evidence that shows something else, and not just, if it's just one piece of evidence, you could say, well, somebody just made a mistake. But, here's several pieces of actual residual evidence that shows the way I remember it and the way a lot of people remember it. So let me know what you remember as far as, the relationship between Sicily and Italy, and the relationship between Africa and Europe. You're going to see several more examples, old and new. So, it's like the Adjustment Bureau. They've come in, the movie, they've come in and they've made their chessboard moves to try and fool us all for whatever reason. Or perhaps, these are as a result of the other moves they've made to change our reality. Some people say it's all just for some great purpose, some divine purpose. But it seems to me that, somebody's trying to send us a message. It's either someone has found something, a technology like CERN and others, to manipulate our time-space, to change things, and because the changes are too deliberate, they've changed our bodies. Those are deliberate. It looks like they're trying to upgrade our bodies, a human body 3.0 type of thing. And so they're too deliberate to be, just made up, inconsequential accidents, okay? The letter changes, as I speculated before, they're squunching the letters, which means they're trying to merge our realities. They're taking away the S's, which means they're taking away the plural Earths, and they're trying to merge them into one, the Babylon, the Tower of Babel. That was the great sin against God. They tried to make us all one, So, anyway, here's a few more evidences of the old Earth that I remember. South America being under North America, and the Mediterranean being the way I remember. So let me know what you think. What do you remember? Did any of you live in Italy or Sicily growing up, and do you remember it being this close? I certainly didn't. I've got kind of a photographic memory, and I don't remember it being like this. I remember there being, a large space between Italy and Sicily. In regards to the Mediterranean, there's this book I think it was about the World's Fair. In 1936 it was published. And it shows, the Mediterranean on its head, one of the pages being the way I remember it. And it also shows North and South America being the right way too. And in this book, which is interesting, I wanted to go into the Union Jack because it shows an actual photograph of a residual of the way I remember the British flag, of the red stripes being in the middle of the white stripes going out from the center. And, right now, it's been changed under the Mandela effect where, they're topsy-turvy, the red stripes inside the white stripes. Which people go, well, that was for a purpose, Alan, because they wanted to be able to tell people if their fort was taken over. So, if you had the flag flying one way, it would be a signal that people would know that their fort was occupied or not occupied or taken over and they were prisoners. So, I get that, because it's called the changed reality. Sure, in your reality and in the new reality, it was changed by the Mandela effect to be that way. But there's evidence that it wasn't that way. In my memory, again, I have a photographic memory. My memory is that the stripes were exactly in the middle going out. And so, is there any evidence of that, Alan? Well, yes, there is. I mean, here's a black and white photograph from that same book that had the residual, 1936 of the flag. It has the residual of the flag, the British flag, the Union Jack flying over a building. And, that same book that had, we saw the old Earth residual of the Mediterranean Sea and America, North and South America being the old way, the old Earth geography. And so look at this flag flying in 1936. It's the way I remember. It's equidistant. So one has to say, if this is all false memories, if this is all just BS, why would there be a flag and a picture flying over a building that's a real picture from 1936? I mean, they didn't retouch this from this book. That's ridiculous. This is a book from 1936. I think it's about the World's Fair or something. I can't remember, to be honest with you. And so here's another example or two of the way I remember the British flag. So again, one has to ask yourself, if this is all a fantasy, why would there be any examples, any at all? Why would there be people in Britain holding a British flag like you're seeing here with the stripes being down the middle? Are they just stupid people who don't know how to make a flag? Come on, people, this strains credulity. The whole thing is crazy to most people. The whole thing, going into parallel universes or going back in space-time and changing things, dialing in our universe, our reality to change things, like we've all seen in the Mandela effect. Luke, I am your father, now is no, I am your father, which I've conjectured is, the devil saying, no, I am your father, and if you build it, he will come through, and he's saying, I am your father right now, and, the Field of Dreams poster has a Stargate-like portal on it, like CERN, and which the CERN portal has demon faces in it, which means it's a portal to other dimensions where they have the noble purpose, I'm sure, of re-engineering our human body, because there's a lot of upgrades they're doing, and the noble purpose of trying to do good things, to go back in time. But there's also an evil contingent. It's a doorway to hell. It's built on the ancient grounds of Apollyon, which the Bible says Apollyon, the angel of Apollyon, opens the doorway to hell. Now, what are the odds, people? Again, it's just strange credulity if this is all just an accident. It's not an accident. It's real. It is real, no matter, and they're changing many hundreds of verses in the Bible. One day we're going to wake up and the Bible's been totally changed, rewritten, which is why the Bible says it's a great delusion, and the Antichrist will change the times. Okay, we're living in the end times, and they're changing things, and I don't know why the continents would change. It's pretty weird why the geography would change, but, maybe it's just an after effect of the other changes that they're making. I don't know why they would deliberately do that, and I don't see how, but I think it's more of an after effect, these Earth geography changes. But anyway, the Union Jack, as you can see, these pictures of people holding the real flag, the way I remember it, and again, there's no reason on Earth people would not know how to make their own flag. Really? Honestly, can you honestly say that people would not know how to make their own flag? Are they that stupid in Britain? I know British people are stupid. Austin Powers, baby. Just kidding. I love British people. My wife's British, pretty much. I'm just joking with you guys. I love all you guys, even if your teeth are bad. So, anyway, so let's look at a few more examples. And again, that 1936 black and white flag, a genuine photograph that's unretouched from a book. There would be no reason to have a flag that's wrong. Think about it. I mean, you want to blow this off as like, oh, it's just BS, it's just false memories. But no, there would be no examples if it was changed for all time. And that's what the Mandela effect is. A lot of people don't realize is that they think, oh, something changed in 1946 or something. The Ford logo changed in 1930. But no, they go back in time and change it for all time. They change Bible verses for all time. Lest you be judged is now changed. The Lord's Prayer is now changed. So it's part of a conspiracy that I think the dark forces want to bring in people from the other side to rule us. They're people that serve the devil. They serve evil, and they want to change our world, manipulate our space-time. I'm sure some of them want to do it for noble purposes, and others want to do it for evil purposes. And so we need to just pray that this thing would be exposed and stopped. I do believe it's part of the last great delusion. And so, again, here's a few more examples. This is Alan Brooks, and this is the Mandela effect for the Mediterranean Sea and the Union Jack, how, things have changed. And here's some old Earth reality photographs that prove that we're not just remembering things falsely. It's not just false mass memory. Okay, people? It's real. The Mandela effect is real, and here's proof. And even British people can see that the flag's different now. And there's no reason for it to have changed, no reason for people to not know how to sew their own flags, as you're seeing here. You know, it's just the way it is. The Mandela effect has changed the British flag, and it has changed our Earth's geography for some nefarious reasons. And if you like the music that's been playing, I wrote this music for a couple of movies, The Alien Hunter and The Conspiracy Theory 2, but they never made the movies, so I hope you enjoy them. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks a lot. This is Alan Brooks, signing off for another Mandela Effect video.